go. Yeah, and we're never forget we can falter in the battle. We're tried and true. Indiana, we're all for you.
Look at that. We're just having all kind of technical difficulties. Welcome, everybody, to Indiana Basketball Weekly on
Thank
the
God we won.
Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster, here with Brian Mohr. The Indiana Hoosiers made it 4 straight today by beating the Michigan State Spartans 65-64. Khalil Ware puts the team on his back, leads them to that 4th straight victory. Brian, how you feeling tonight?
Oh, I'm loving it. I mean, I agree with you totally. Stole my thunder. Ware clearly imposed his will in this game, and without his presence in the second half, without Galloway, the team unfortunately struggled. Of course, Michigan State, as you said, couldn't take care of itself with tens. So
that's not exactly what I said. I said watching Michigan
State. Well, I can't say what you said.
Watching Michigan State's offense in the first 10 minutes was like watching a man trying to masturbate with no hands. That is what I said. See, you can't say.
Okay, well, you said it. I did. There you go.
Well, it was. They were really bad. And unfortunately, then we went the next 15, 20 minutes like that too, and then the game became close. But, I mean, Trey Galloway, I thought, played really well. The ball movement that first 7 minutes with him in the game was outstanding. Outstanding.
Yeah. Outstanding.
And then this is for all the morons that are questioning Woody for substituting for Galloway. Galloway was hurt, guys. So chill out. All right.
I mean, that really ticked me off. If people don't pay attention, I mean, the guy limped off the court, but hopefully he's okay. I mean, I didn't see a brace on him in the second half, but I did see him off and on with the ice. Let's just hope it's nothing that's going to keep him out of the tournament because we need him desperately.
Yeah, without him, I think the odds of an Indiana win become very small. If we look at the team's stats for this game, all right, Indiana shot 47%, Michigan State 38% from three-point range, 6 for 17, 35.3. Michigan State 32% at 8 for 25. Free throws. Damn, I've never seen a team that as bad at shooting free throws as this Indiana team, Brian. 41%.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, I mean, you only had really 2 players shooting free throws, and that was Renew and Ware. And I mean, Ware was never great, but I mean, it just seems like the last 5 or 6 games, his free throw shooting has just turned atrocious. I mean, he can't. I don't know if it's I don't really know what it is. I mean, he wasn't that bad at the beginning of the year, but now, I mean, let's just hope we're not in a tight game and somebody fouls Ware because we got a 50-50 shot of it making it. But
yeah, that's what I still think if Wisconsin would have started fouling with 2 minutes left, they might have beaten us a couple games ago.
Well, what can you say? The Wisconsin coach screwed up.
He does sometimes.
He should be fired. He should be fired because he couldn't beat us. There you go.
He got to be fired just because he looks like an idiot. Total turnovers is the big concern. 16 total turnovers is way too much. Michigan State only had 10, but Michigan State had 12 steals. Indiana did have 18 assists. Michigan State 15 assists. So this was a game that really there weren't many fouls in the game. It was a fairly cleanly played game. Khalil Ware, 28 points. Walker had 30 points for Michigan State. So stat-wise, it looks like a close game. And the difference is IU shot 10% better from the field, even though the free throw line, luckily there weren't a lot of fouls called because that way we didn't have to shoot a lot of free throws. Because if we'd had to shoot a lot of free throws, might have changed everything. So,
well, I think a telling stat compared to what we've seen in the past is the offensive rebounds.
Yes, it was even.
It was even, and we're usually down. And to me, that shows effort. They were actually, and most of that was probably Ware with his 12 rebounds. But, they were much more aggressive on the offensive boards than they have been. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and M'Baku had 6 rebounds. Renew had 5 rebounds, and then Cups had 1. And Walker only played 4 minutes again. The bench was very short. Anthony Leal, I mean, hey, we won a game and Anthony Leal didn't hit a three, so he played 28 minutes.
Amazing.
He played 28 minutes. He scored 0 points. He played horrible defense, but yet people will run around saying, man, if we would just play him more. And
I'm really getting tired of that, but
yeah, I mean, that'll just put him in and try to get him an open shot the first 3 shots. So if he hits the 3, we can take him out because he's done his job because we'll win.
right.
And he's got a shot to be a 6 seed right now because the last time we checked the score, it was 21-4 Illinois at Iowa. Terrence Shannon's a man amongst boys. And I mean, a 6 seed doesn't sound that bad to me because really before this 4-game stretch started, it looked like we were going to be playing bottom 4 with Michigan.
Right. What a difference a week makes. So I guess if I'm critical of anything of today, I think you and I both agree if Gallo is not sitting on the bench, this game probably would not have been close. I think that, like you said, the way they were playing the first 7 minutes, I don't know if Michigan State could have ever recovered. But
hey, wait a second. I got a text from this guy who says who won like he didn't know Joseph Michael. He texted me with like 10 minutes left in the game when IU was down by like 7 points, and he goes, IU sucks. So suck it, Joe.
Isn't he the leader of the Red Chair group?
Oh no, that's
no,
Michael
okay.
Howden. Joseph Michael is not the leader of any group. He was in the Bay City Rollers, but he was a backup singer back in the 70s. But Joseph Michael.
Let's not hang our hat on that one.
Hey, this is the thing. Joseph Michael is an Ohio State football fan, which tells you a lot about Joseph right there. And he's also a University.
No, he's a fair weather fan. There you go. It's easy to be an Ohio State
fan. Yeah, you got to try to. Well, don't say that because then we can go back to we sucked. But I mean, hell, Joe's not old enough to have seen IU win a national championship though, because he's only in his 50s. Next up, Brian.
Go ahead.
No,
I was going to say I was actually surprised looking at the stat line that Mbako only had 13 points because I mean, really, he was very involved in this game on both sides. But I guess he hit some key point shots in the beginning, hit some key shots at the end. But I think he was very effective in the game. I'm just surprised he only scored 13.
I think for this team to make a run to win the Big Ten championship, he's got to be like Ware. What we saw with Ware today is he imposed his will at the end of the game. And before we get to Brian, we're going to go to Joseph Michael. Joseph Michael's like, thank God for missed layups. That missed layup was caused by Khalil Ware. I mean, Khalil Ware is a big dude. And if you noticed during this game, anytime you had a Michigan State player catch it in the post, when he turned, it was almost like they were looking for Ware. Yeah, they're looking for Ware. Because there was a couple times where Ware wasn't even close enough to make the play, but he would jump at him, and all of a sudden they'd pull the ball back down.
It was like back off. Yeah, I mean, he was just an opposing presence to them that they just couldn't get out of their head. And that was great. I loved it.
Yeah. And by the way, I want to thank everybody tuning in right now. I mean, we've got like 8 different places I can see totaling over 3,000 live listens right now. We appreciate that. Brian Wetter says Leal and Galloway returning was the best thing for Coach Woodson for it stops the negativity. And Brian, that's what I talked about with you. This game was a must win just because of the past week and everything that had happened. My concern is this. I sit here and I'm one of them that I doubt whether they got the right coach or not, but I'm not one that wants to throw the baby out before the bathwater or whatever the hell that comment is. And if you're an IU fan right now and your big concern is anything other than the Big Ten tournament with a team that's won 4 straight games, you're not an IU fan. You could still have the thought that maybe we didn't get the right coach, but right now support this team. They've won 4 straight games. They're going into a Big Ten tournament where they can win some games. And the big thing is this, and I say it all the time, every show we do, the sign of a good team is a team that improves at the end of the season. Yes, that improvement took too long, but that improvement has happened. For some teams, that improvement doesn't happen. I think that improvement is more of a Khalil Ware putting a team on his back, similar to what Trace Jackson Davis did the last 2 years. I think this team is dangerous if Galloway's healthy because Khalil Ware I mean, outside of Terrence Shannon, those are the two. Those are the two best players in the Big Ten, I think, and that includes.
Well,
I think Terrence Shannon was after you.
I'll throw it. Well, look, if you got Galloway and Xavier, we've seen when those two are playing consistent minutes together, there's a tremendous amount of assists. The ball moves around well. They're getting open shots. Um, I hate to say it, but it's the same thing we've been talking about all year. The guard play for us is critical because we don't have a lot of guards and we don't have a lot of effective guards.
Well, we don't have good guards, but for some reason, those two together are good. By themselves, they're not that good. That tells you that
Right.
you don't really have any other guards because the only way they can be effective is with each other. And then Joseph said Mike probably drinks the bathwater. This is the thing. Joe's from Ohio. He lives in some little dumpy place called Cleves, Ohio, where all water is sewer water. So if he was to come drink my bathwater, he would be better off than what
That's
he
a
is
lot
right
cleaner.
now. Yeah, I mean, Joe goes, I mean, he moved to Indiana. So that'll tell you a lot right there.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
the only other thing I want to say about this game is I'm getting really, if everybody wants to focus on the coach, did you actually watch Renew play today?
It was
I mean,
horrible.
I'm sorry, he hurts us more than he helps us. I mean, yes, he towards the end of the game he had some key plays, but my God, man, if you're getting double teamed and you're 6'8", you're not going to be dribbling when you're inside the paint. You either go up or you pass the ball out. I mean, we're at the end of the season and he still hasn't figured that out. I don't like to pick on one player, but I mean, we need more from Mbako than we do from Renew. Let's
Yes.
put that.
Yes, because Mbako is good enough to take a game over too. And I think we're seeing him getting to the point where he may be able to do that. Robert Stewart says where can match up with Edie if we can play up tempo both sides. That is true. But the thing is this, you have to play up tempo to beat Purdue. Most teams to beat Purdue play up tempo.
Right.
Right now, I still think when Indiana plays up tempo, and like you said about Renew is a hell of a player. All right. I'm not going to doubt
Yeah.
that. But to me, he's selfish. I mean, there was a few times where he catches the ball on the baseline at the block. He's
Yeah.
got Galloway at the start of the game standing wide open in the
Wide
corner,
open
and
and he
he just
ignores it.
forces it up into three people. Nothing
Right.
happens, and then he cries, bitches, and whines, which annoys the hell out of me because, I mean, just to look on his face, he looks like, I would say a woman, but that would be sexist. But I'm going
Yeah.
to say it anyway.
And you look at Mbako, I mean, he's a freshman for Christ's sake. And, the difference between this team in the beginning of the year and now at the end is Mbako, I think, is a much better player overall.
That's
But
because he's not a freshman now. You play
yeah,
30 games, you're not a freshman anymore.
but you don't see Mbako whining like a little bitch like Renew does. And I hate
Are you challenging Renew to a fight right now? Let's get this
no,
straight.
because he probably kicked my ass.
There's
But
no probably about it.
well, not unless I had a baseball bat behind my back.
If you
But
look at him, no, he might cower and cry. We have to worry about Minnesota before Purdue. It's a home game for the Gophers. Yes, I will give you it is, but I'm pretty sure it was an actual home game for the Gophers. Within the last week, and we beat them. That
yeah,
Minnesota team is very well coached. They've got a good guard, but there is no way they've got anybody that can handle us down below. We should
right.
beat them. Is that what the bracket is right now for sure, or do we know? Because
No, I don't know.
I don't think we
I don't
know
know if that's for
until
sure because you got one more game going tonight. I think Illinois is going to beat Iowa, but there's nothing for sure yet.
no,
But
because we've saw Indiana State down 18 in the second half come back and damn near win. We watched Michigan State come from 17 down and almost win.
you're right.
So still early. All right, here we go. It's Joseph Michael again, who must be feeling
Oh
good
boy.
about himself. Maybe Caitlin Clark can play her fifth year for IU. They need a solid guard. They will because Mackenzie Holmes will be leaving. So I agree with you. Yes, the IU women's basketball team could sure use Caitlin Clark. What do you think, Brian? Do you think the IU women's team? Because I'm sure that's what Joe's saying. Because he wouldn't be such an ass to come on here and claim that a little girl could play with men.
I think he's been drinking too much of the Cleveland water, and he needs to go take a
No, it's Cleves,
real.
Ohio. Cleves, Ohio is worse than Cleveland. Cleves, Ohio is so bad, they didn't even get the whole word Cleveland. They just stopped at Cleve and then put an S on it and said, hell with it.
No, you know what? Look, it if we had a little bit better guard play today, if we, go back to what I said in the beginning, if Gallo doesn't sit out for what was it, 33 minutes,
Yeah.
basically the whole game, this is a totally different game.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. That is the point, though. The point
But we
is,
won. But the
yeah,
point is
the
they
point
stuck
is,
it out and we won.
yeah, and they would have never done that a month ago. This game would have been a loss. I mean, this
They're
team has matured on effort, which is the big thing to me. They're still not playing well, I don't think, as a team. But if you play hard, you can overcome a lot of different obstacles.
Well, plus
And
they passed your test today. They had guys hitting the floor trying to go for loose balls.
we had 5 today, which is more
Yeah.
than that is one more than I'd counted all year, which is a
Well,
very
there was
scary
more than that
fact.
all year, but
There
you know,
wasn't. I don't
yeah.
count where you trip and fall. I'm talking about actually diving for the ball.
No, that was the bad call against Mbako, but that's another story. But
They did trip. They did kick feet, so you can call that.
I still think that was a horseshit call. But
But
that's okay.
they still tripped, and you're still usually going to get the call. I was really pissed before I saw the trip, though, because they only showed the end of the play. And
Yeah,
I'm
the end
thinking,
of the play, he's like he's falling down, and
yeah, like,
Mbako's
no way.
3 feet from him. I'm like, what the fuck? Excuse my language.
It's too late for that. We've been doing this show all year. Robert Stewart says they're learning and young. That's now utter bullshit because they played 30 games, Robert. But they have learned a little bit,
They're
and they
learning,
are
and they're how
young.
about this? They're learning and they're winning now.
Yeah,
Let's go with that.
because you're not really. I mean, when you lose, you do learn stuff, but we learned way too much stuff earlier in the season, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I really hope Galloway is able to play in the tournament because, uh, I love Gabe. I think he's going to be a good guard down the road, but he was getting his ass handed to him most of the day
Well, so
today.
was Xavier. So defensively, after the first 15 minutes, we did not play well. I didn't think, except for Ware, who cleans everything up. But really, Ware wasn't as dominant on defense as they had been either.
No, but he made some incredible shots today. I mean, why are we fuzzy? Is it me or is it the screen?
I don't know. I was looking up at Illinois Iowa score. I wasn't looking at the screen, but a lot of times it'll show fuzzy. Guys, if you're watching, tell Brian if he's fuzzy. And Iowa's come back. It's already at 33-25 with 3 minutes left in the first half. So not out of the woods yet there. And no,
Plus, you
you do
got
not look fuzzy to me.
okay. No, it's cleaned up. It cleared up, and Penn State's beating Maryland. So
Good.
there you go.
Score. That's very important. I got money on Penn State.
It's always about money with you, dude.
If I bet on the game, yes, it's about money, dipshit. What the hell? That's why I almost never bet against Indiana. I just don't bet the game if I think they're going to lose because I don't want to cheer against them. Even though most people from reading my stuff think that I do, I really don't. I just tell the truth of what I see. The last 4 games, this team has been improved. Khalil Ware is imposing his will. To win, that's what you need, especially if your group is not overly talented, which they've got a lot of talented players, but not too many of them are guards. That's what I mean by
Right.
not over talented.
No, I
And
agree. But
yeah,
that combination though of Galloway and Xavier, um,
that moves the ball.
that moves the ball. It gets open shots. They facilitate very well when they play together.
Yeah. But if they're not together, it's not a good thing. But when they are together, it is a very good thing. And I mean, let's face it, even if you go into Val Galloway, maybe Xavier Johnson will have his 3rd good game of the year, and we can win anyway.
I was just
And that
looking at
was
the
a
stat
shot at
line.
you.
So
What's that line?
we want to keep Leal in the game because he played 28 minutes, scored no points, had 2 rebounds. Oh wait a minute, what was that? Yeah, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 turnovers. Yeah.
He
Why do we
almost
want?
guarded that one guy one time, though.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean,
we'll give
it's
him.
scary bad watching him chase people. I mean, it almost looks like a chicken with his head cut off. He's running here, he's running here. Cups does the same thing, but Cups is a freshman. And, he's played 30 games. I think Cups has gotten better. I just don't think the confidence there is there yet for him to really attack the basket the way he should and to shoot the ball from the outside the way he should. But I can tell you
But
this: if I'm Woody and Galloway can't go in the first round of the Big Ten tournament, I'm going up to Cubs and say, just let it fly and shoot. You
well,
have
I
to.
agree with you because I think his improvement has been more on the offensive side than on the defensive side. I
Yeah,
mean, he's
defensively,
getting he
yeah.
got burned a lot today with open 3-pointers. He if you want to not you can knock Xavier all day long, but he is much better at moving in from the paint and back out before the guy can get a shot off. Cups is 5, 10, 6 feet away while the guy's shooting. He's getting burned all the time from 3-point line.
Yeah, and CJ Gunn did not play. Cubs is still learning. CJ Gunn and Caleb Banks. Is it safe to say that neither one of those guys are probably going to be back next year, Brian?
I don't know. If I were a betting man, I would say probably more Gun than
To leave
um, to
or to be
leave. Yeah,
back? Oh, I think
no,
it's Banks. I think Banks is done. I don't think Woody's bringing Banks back from what happened.
well, it depends if Banks learns his lesson or if he's
See,
still a.
I don't believe in that. He's above 18. This ain't high school. You do shit like that to hurt your team, you don't need to be on the team. That's my issue with Xavier Johnson. Some things to me as a coach are unacceptable. I mean, Malik Renew right now would be unacceptable to me. It just would. Khalil
Well,
Ware is right now is as good as it gets for IU basketball. He's as good as I've seen in the last 10 years at IU, and that includes Trace. Because
yeah,
Trace was a very smart player, but it also took Trace 3 years to get to that point.
right. And
And
Ware's 19 years old. I mean,
all right,
like I
so
like I like
how
I
do we
text.
attack this question?
What did Banks do? He
Let's not say it, but I would say this. There
let's just
were
say he's not listening to what he's being told
put it like this.
not to do after hours. How's that?
I'll give it up because my source on this is pretty damn good. But there was a kid that I guess broke curfew,
Yeah.
and I don't know who it was, but all I can tell you is this: there's only one dude that hadn't played since then. I think maybe he played a minute in the game, but I
Um,
would say with him, I think for culture purposes, he should not be back. And I can also tell you this from what I heard, it was more than just him earlier in the season, but they were all
but it's
given a
him now,
drop dead. Yeah, all given a drop
right?
dead. Don't do it again. He did it again. It's there. So I'm
And
not
he
saying it's
also
true. I'm just saying that seems
that
pretty
story also
obvious.
included that he had a little bit of an altercation with a security guard at the
Coach.
bar. And do you know who I am? Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Obviously, we
What a
don't,
head
dude. You
case.
play 4 minutes a game. How the hell do we know who you are? Oh, here we
I
go.
don't know, but
Robert
there's
wants the after hours show again, too.
only if there are
Robert
certain.
always,
Robert wants
Robert,
it when there's certain people on the show after
when
hours.
there's
That's
females. So if there's any females
yeah.
on, Robert is looking for a date. So get on
Where's
here and say
Denise
hi to
been?
Robert.
Where has Denise been?
I don't know. I
Robert
forgot
scared
to
her.
share the last few shows, but yeah, Robert scares me sometimes. I'm just kidding, Robert. And I mean, to me, this is a great win. With Tuesday night, I don't know. At some point, we need to have a Big Ten preview show. Whether it'll be me and Brian, or whether I'll have to do it by myself Tuesday morning, because I don't know. Let's
Well,
see.
if you do it in the morning, you're gonna have to do it with her. Something.
I know, but I don't know. Tuesday, if you could do like 7:30 or
Okay,
8,
now we're
we could
going.
probably do it.
We're really going down now.
No, Joe does have an after-hours show on his My OnlyFans. His My OnlyFans basically caters to women in their hundreds that are blind. He kills it with women between 100 and dead. All right. Women between 100 and dead love Joe. I mean, they just do. I mean, that's why, I mean,
Maybe we should connect them in the Vaseline. I mean, I don't
the
know.
Vaseline was still the greatest story ever. I mean, no matter what, because it just sounds dirty. But then it turns out to not be that dirty. And Robert says, sweet. Robert's in for the 100 to 100 and dead women. Maybe we could connect Robert and fly him in with Joe and they could do a show live from VV, Indiana. It would be outstanding. Because VV's got nothing to do now because the boys lost in the regional, but they played a great game. Switzerland County. I mean, they damn near ended up making it to the semi-state. So I know everybody in VV has to be proud of them. Not so much in Batesville, where Scottsburg, I think, was up like 56-18, which makes me think, where's Balin Gardner? Because I think he was from Scottsburg. But Big Ten tournament, what is the team that is not named Purdue and Illinois that scares you the most for IU to play?
Probably Iowa.
Iowa? To me, it's Northwestern because of Boo Buie. We have no answer for Boo
Well,
Buie.
okay, you're right, because Bowie, even without what's his name, Barry, they have been actually playing really good without him. See, now we're going unfocused. You're unfocused, by the way.
I know, I see it. Do I look unfocused to people right now? And we're not talking about mentally because that's obvious. We're just talking about the picture that you see, because the picture you see may be a little jacked up. But also, I want to remind people you can go check out thegruelingtruth.com to see the article Brian Mohr wrote today about Indiana's culture, what's been going on. Check that out. Brian Wetter says Penn State or Maryland for me. Maryland doesn't scare me because I don't think Maryland's very good. And the other thing about Maryland is I don't think they play real hard. Penn State would scare me because when Penn State beat us the other two times, to me, Penn State just played harder than we did in both games. Overall, I think Mike Rhodes has done an exceptional job with them. Here you go. We got Balin. I knew that we'd get Balin. Balin says, hello, gentlemen. Go Scottsburg. Beat Evansville Bossy in the semi-state next weekend. Yeah, Scottsburg's got a kid. Balin, you know his name. I think he's number 23 because I watched the first half of that game, and that kid's a stud. I don't know if he's a senior or not, but I think when everybody complains about recruiting Indiana kids, that kid is the kid Indiana fans want. I don't know if physically he would be able to play at that level, but it's what we hear. But seriously, check out Brian's article today on thegruelingtruth.com. I don't agree with all of it because we all know sometimes Brian can be full of – is Brian looking? Hold on here. Hold on. Sometimes Brian can be full of shit. But, I didn't know you could still hear me.
Oh, yeah, I heard every word.
But, yeah, go Scottsburg. The Scottsburg's the Warriors, right? Playing Evansville Bossy. Balin, that's his name, Caden Richardson. Is he a senior, Balin? Because that kid can play. I like them a lot. There was a kid from Switzerland County, number 33, who was a stud too. But maybe Joe can throw up that name. We give him a little recognition because our numbers are really good right now. When I texted you a while ago that our numbers were through the roof, they've doubled since then, Brian. So come up with something else to talk about.
Your hat?
Hey, so Purdue or Illinois, whose bracket would you rather be in?
Oh, Illinois.
Really?
Yeah.
When they play as well as they can, though, Illinois, I think, is a better team.
When they play as good as they can. That's the key point.
Yeah. Cam Craig.
Honestly, I really don't think Purdue's going to win the tournament, the Big Ten tournament.
I don't think they should want to. I don't think Illinois should want to. Like I said, if you look at the history of winning conference tournaments, I mean, with Indiana, you got to want to because there's no other way into the NCAA tournament. And
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
Well, you're wrong.
No,
because you can't. Because you can give me a scenario, but that same scenario you think should keep Michigan State out. And Michigan State should not be in the NCAA tournament. Michigan
State should not have a net ranking of 28 either.
No. Balin Gardner says he's a senior committed to play at UIndy next year. So maybe we'll get to see him in the preseason. Well, UIndy's D2, isn't there? D1? Hell, I don't even know. But my point is this. Michigan State, I heard a good comment today. It was on the Missouri Valley Conference Championship game. I think Drake and Indiana State are like 2-2 against quad one teams or something. And then the guy who's the analyst made a comment because they showed like Michigan State. Michigan State's like what, 3-10 or 4-10 or something. And the guy said, well, I would let either one of these teams in first because Michigan State's already proven they can't play at that level.
Okay.
Well, so I mean, yeah, I mean, If you're
what
getting
you
your
said
ass
earlier,
kicked,
the
yeah.
only difference between Indiana and Michigan State right now is that Michigan State beat Indiana State and
And
Baylor
Baylor.
at the beginning of the
It
season.
wasn't at the beginning, but it was before January 1st. I think it was like that
Right.
last week of December. They won both of those games and looked like they were about to take off. And then it just went in a crapper again. Brian says, I'd rather play Purdue and Ware. ED matchup now. I don't know because,
I'm not sure about that
yeah,
one.
I don't think Ware is ready for that. I think in the long run, if they had equal teams, I think Ware would eat his ass up. But Purdue has much better guards. Braden Smith's a damn good guard now. Lance Jones is a really good player. They're better than what we are. But I think in the long run, 5 years from now, I think people will think you're crazy if you think Zach Edey is better than Khalil Ware. I mean,
Oh,
the play
Ware
of the
will be.
year, the best play I saw all year this year was when he threw the baseball pass almost the length of the court, just over top the outstretched Michigan State dude, right into
Yeah,
the
and
hands for the layup.
Renew. Yeah, that was a
Dude,
great pass.
that is not a normal pass for a big man to make. That's the kind of stuff that like Grant Hill to Christian Leitner and guys like that made. That was a
He's,
great outlet pass. And Zach Edey is not he's a really good outlet passer too. I just think Khalil Ware is a more athletic guy. I think he's a better player, and the size difference weight wise is huge. But it's
right.
3 or 4 inches difference when it comes to height. And Joseph Michael from VV told me that his wife told him just because he was 4 inches shorter than the biggest she'd ever seen, it didn't mean he was small. She said 4 inches ain't that much. It's only like
Much.
that.
Yeah. If you had 4 more inches, you'd find something new here. Yeah, I get it.
You find something new. What?
If he had 4 more inches, he'd find something new there.
All right. So we will do a Big Ten tournament preview show. You good for 7:30 Tuesday night?
Yeah.
And then we'll see if we can get a special guest or two on also. Make sure you read Brian's article. Is there anything else you want to discuss before we wrap it up? Because the numbers are big enough. We'll just stay here and talk all night as long as they're that high.
Well, I mean, okay. You asked me. I haven't heard you say. Who do you want to play?
Who
Purdue
do
or
I want
Illinois?
to play or who do I worry about?
No. Who do you want to play? Who
I
do you
want
want to go against?
I
If we
want
make
I
because
want them both to get
look,
beat.
we're going to argue this till the cows come home. But if Indiana makes it to the tournament final, I still think they got a shot at getting in.
But the only way that shot happens if they beat Purdue or Illinois in a sense. So if Purdue and Illinois, one of them was to get upset early and they were in IU's bracket, I think you would have to win it then. I think a win against Purdue or Illinois, I don't see them being in the conversation just because they haven't been all year. And really those 4 wins, not against great competition. I still think I would say this. You got a 15% chance if you make it to the Big Ten championship game. You have a 100% chance if you win that game. So they need to get there and win the damn thing. And Michigan State does not belong in the NCAA tournament, though. That's a joke because I'll tell you this. Brian, I watched Drake at Indiana State today. Both of those teams will blow the doors off of Michigan State.
I'm not sure
But
that would
guaranteed.
be the
Guaranteed. There's NBA talent on those teams. I don't know that there is on Michigan State.
Well, look, here's the thing. In my
Especially the guard from Drake. I'm not
we can-
being a homer, but that guard from Drake is a stud.
well, I kind of like the center too. I thought he was pretty good.
Well, actually, if you could give me Swopes at point, you give me the shooting guard, the white kid from Drake, and then you give me Avila, who didn't play well today, but you give me Avila in the center for Drake, we would be fine next year. Unfortunately,
Evelyn didn't do shit today.
No,
he looked like
he
crap.
also was admitted at a hospital and put on an IV right after the game. So I still
Okay.
think if you play, though, it doesn't matter. So I don't give nobody anywhere no break for that. You playing the game, play good.
All right,
Only
so
five
anyway,
max. Wait a second. Only
What?
5 max. I think this.
I
think
disagree.
Nebraska and Northwestern definitely deserve to be in. You've got Purdue, Illinois, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's got so many decent wins, and they played Purdue tough today. That gives you 5 there. I think if Iowa beats Illinois tonight, I think Iowa probably is in because they've played really well as of late. I think the big issue you got are conferences like the Mountain West that usually aren't that good, that are probably going to get 6 or 7 teams into the tournament this year because the Mountain West has actually turned into a major conference now in college basketball.
Yeah, but when they start large, guess
Not when it's the Mountain West got 4 or 5 in last year, and the Mountain West put a team in the Final Four. When's the last time we did? 2019. They are. There's no such thing as a Power Five in college basketball.
well, I'm saying the Power Five. Well, it's Power Five because the Pac-12 is practically non-existent. But look,
Well, yeah,
here's
they
the thing.
would take the place of that.
Here's one thing nobody knows. Okay, there are 6 or 7 different factors that the selection committee utilizes to determine who are the
Yeah,
at-large
and one of
teams.
those is they love Tom Izzo's ass, so that's why they're letting him in. Go
Well,
ahead.
okay, there you go.
And it is.
But nobody can say for sure the net rankings is the number one thing that they look at.
Nobody said it was, but there's no ranking where we come out good right now. Yes, Balin Gardner, Jalen Blackman at Stetson is extremely good. And the problem is the Indiana State and Drake guys you're probably not going to get because the Drake's been really good for a while. And hell, they were in the Sweet 16 a couple years ago and should have been last year. They should have been the ones beating us. They wouldn't have beat us as bad as Miami.
Hey, how
Well,
about this?
they weren't as quick.
How about we have a play-in game, Michigan State versus Indiana in the tournament?
Is Trey Callaway healthy?
Yeah.
If he's healthy, we could play it, but it would be a toss-up. I mean, neither team has done enough to be in the NCAA tournament. I don't.
Yeah, but you've admitted that they're going to get in.
Well, it's because of Tom Izzo. And
That's
unless
even-
Mike Woodson becomes Bobby Knight, that other guy's still Tom Izzo, and they defer to Tom Izzo at all times. They deferred to Knight in the late 90s. There was IU teams there that were 20, 13, 19,
I'm not going to
15.
disagree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we really can't bitch because we did benefit. Hold on, we got Robert here with something. Yep, one is how you finish the season. Also, yes, and that's the one I brought up to Brian when we had our talk earlier. So the 4 straight wins is good, but you're going to have to get at least to the Big Ten championship game to even join the conversation. I think.
Now, wait a minute. Do they count quad wins in the tournament?
No, I don't think so. I think the tournament's just a tournament.
Okay. Because right now we're sitting at the same quad record as Michigan State.
And by the way, I will tell you this: I think that the Mountain West is a much tougher conference than the Big Ten.
What is with you and this hard on with the Mountain West this year?
Because the Mountain West is really good. I watch a lot of games. You know, they've got about as many teams in there. Yeah, I do. The Mountain West are on late at night. And I can tell you this, Utah State.
You go to bed at 9 o'clock. How do you watch the Mountain West?
Well, sometimes I wake up to pee because I'm old, Brian. But Utah State, Nevada, Boise State, UNLV, San Diego State, Colorado State, New Mexico, all should probably be in the tournament. That's just a fact. I mean, there was 12 teams in that tournament, and 8 of them have 19 wins or more, and they got to play each other. Actually, their standings aren't too bad because I think most bracketology I see has at least 6 of them in most of the time.
Wasn't San Jose State make a big run last year in the tournament?
You talking about San Diego State?
Yeah.
San Diego State, I don't even know. Are they Mountain West?
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Come on. I think they switched. Yeah, they are. I'm just messing with you. San Diego State right now is 5th, and they returned all their Final Four team, and they're 5th. They're 22-9. So I'm pretty sure winning 22 games the year after you go to the Final Four or national championship game should get you into the tournament. Utah State, no doubt, belongs in the tournament. In Nevada, Steve Alford has done an awesome job at Nevada because that was a program that went down a little bit after they were real good for a few years. He took over and has done a really good job this season, which really surprises me after watching him coach at UCLA and a few other places. Not to be
but I just don't see UNLV getting in at 19-11.
Well, I don't know that anybody should at 19-11, but UNLV lost to Nevada by 10 last night. When you break down what UNLV has done compared to what Michigan State and Indiana's done now, I think that they would fare pretty well.
I don't see how you can compare.
Okay, I can tell you this. UNLV has a better win than either Indiana or Michigan State does. They beat Dayton by 8 points. Dayton's ranked, 12th to 14th in the country. They beat Southern Illinois, who is a good team.
So far, you haven't named a single powerhouse, so I'm not listening.
Dayton is a fucking powerhouse. They were the best team in the country in 2020. They're in the tournament every year. Pay
2020. That
attention.
was 2020. We're in 2024, Mike.
Uh-huh. We're in 2024. UNLV blew out Minnesota, which, everybody should. But, I mean, they beat Washington State, who was a good team. Let's see what they did against San Diego State. Yeah, they lost to San Diego State by 6, which San Diego State's a top 20 team. Lost to Colorado State by 1. Yeah, I think UNLV can make a case. They also beat Nevada, but that Dayton win is a huge win. Dayton is a team that could end up in the Final Four. Dayton has one of the top 5 coaches in the country in Anthony Grant. And the good thing for Dayton is he's a Dayton guy, so he's probably not going to leave for a better job, if you know what I mean. And really, there aren't too many better jobs than Dayton. There really isn't. If you've ever been to UD Arena to see the way their fans react, I have seen a fair amount of games at UD Arena since the mid-'70s when Don Donaher was there. And I guarantee you this, no matter how bad they are, I've never been to a Dayton game where anybody got booed that had on a Dayton uniform.
Not even Archie?
Nobody. Well, Archie got him to the Elite Eight. He was a stud there.
And what have you done for me lately? I mean, that's the way Indiana fans think, right?
And if you compare it, that's how every fan should think, because if you're making $4 million a year, you should win some games. But Dayton lost to Northwestern by 3. They beat LSU right after that by 3. They beat St. John's by 10. They lost to Houston 69-56 in a game they led at the half. So the schedule here for Dayton was actually pretty tough. And Dayton's conference isn't bad. So I'm just saying, Dayton is a team that could make a run. And you'll love this because he beat Archie Miller in Rhode Island 96-62.
Oh, what a shocker. There you go. It's official.
What's official?
Trey Galloway and Anthony Leo are returning for their 5th year.
Too bad that is asked backwards on your phone and nobody can read it.
Well, I know. Well, I can't help that.
Okay, Balin says, go get players that want to play at IU. That's a hell of a start. Robert says, my cousin sees
what players want to play at IU? I'm so tired of that.
Why wouldn't you want to play at IU? There's a lot of guys that want to play at IU.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
And probably that Avila kid who couldn't play in the Big Ten if he tried.
You're a fucking moron if you think that. He was the 6th-ranked player in the fucking Midwest. He turned down every Big Ten team except for Indiana because he wanted to play close to home at Indiana State. Robbie Avila is a fucking stud. He played a bad game today, and you know what's a bitch? I would say out of 28 games this year, he's been awesome in 25 of them. Xavier Johnson has played well twice this year.
Against what kind of competition?
Jesus
Missouri Valley competition.
I know. They can't hang. Like teams like Drake can't hang. You know, Drake's been to a Sweet 16 and done a hell of a lot more than Indiana has. And the Missouri Valley Conference is extremely good. I mean, they've got one of the top 3 guards in the country. You watched him today drop 35 on Indiana State. And I think it is really asinine, no disrespect meant, to sit here and rip on teams that last year 2 teams were what you would call mid-majors in the Final Four. One of them played in the national championship. The whole landscape of college basketball has changed. Robbie Avila is a better player than Khalil Ware.
Oh, that's a load of crap.
Oh, I know. It's a load of crap because Khalil Ware's played well the last 4 games. And I love Khalil Ware. But Robbie Avila is a sophomore who's going to stay at Indiana State, fulfill his commitment, and then get drafted to the NBA. He was sick today.
The G League?
And he's played to the G League, where all IU players end up, right? Because Jalen Hood-Schifino's not in the NBA, is he?
He's played in the NBA.
Oh, he's played in the NBA, but he's not in the NBA. So he was not developed to be an NBA player because he's not in the NBA. He plays for what's it called? Some stupid-ass name team. Today, Robbie Avila's worst game of the season. He scored 15 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. That's horrible. You're right. And we watched Khalil Ware score 9 points the other night, but you didn't rip on him. And if you look at the competition he has played, I don't think the Missouri Valley Conference is that bad. I mean, Drake, Bradley, all those teams have made runs in the tournament before. Indiana would not win the Missouri Valley Conference, and Indiana State and Drake would both bludgeon Indiana because they play very hard and they have better players. And Josh Schertz is a really good coach. And you brought this on yourself by making that comment. How about this? Robbie Avila.
You think I actually agree with anything you just fucking said.
It doesn't matter because you don't have a fucking clue because you watch a guy play once and you make a judgment. I mean, when you look at him,
dude is fine.
He's what? Is it because he's a little chubby and white, so we don't like him? The dude is what? You watched him play one.
The guy is slower. The guy is slower than Ware.
Yeah, he also shoots better than Ware. By far, that's not even close. He scores more points than Ware. Ware blocks more shots. Rebounding wise, they're both around 8 to 10 most games.
You're going to compare the talent capabilities of Ware to Avila.
Avila is a better shooter. He's a better passer, and he's a smarter player, and he plays harder. He needs to lose some weight, and Khalil Ware is a by far better defensive player. And Bill Collins, I'm not trashing him. It's the fact that I have somebody trash a guy who's averaging damn near a triple-double, but he wants to trash him because he played at Indiana State, and I really get tired of the elitist bullshit. No, it has nothing to do with my alma mater because the kid from Stetson would make Indiana studs, and the Swoops kid would make Indiana a stud. This is not the same world it used to be. Well, like I said,
so Dalton Neck. Dalton Neck plays for Indiana.
There's nobody named Dalton Neck, but I'm pretty sure it's Dalton Neck. And yes, he would have, but he didn't want to come here. We couldn't get him. We couldn't get Robbie Avila, which I don't know if they went for him, but I know Illinois put a big place. But I'm not trashing IU at all. I'm just saying, why would we trash? Why would we trash any Indiana school? All right, that drives me nuts. Even Purdue? Why trash them? They never won a damn thing. I mean, why trash them? And why would you ever trash an Indiana State, an Evansville, a Butler?
Did I say anything about Purdue tonight?
No, I'm talking about in general Indiana fans. Indiana fans trash everything, including our players. And yes, I do not believe those fans trashing the players had anything to do with Leah McNeely not coming here. But those fans doing that shows you what's so fucked up in this culture. I mean, in the entire world. The entire culture of the entire world. And then the kid changes his mind. He's an 18-year-old kid. You don't know why he changed his mind, but yet you're going to trash him. I mean, all these people on Twitter, I mean, I went on and looked at it too, Brian, and there's people threatening to end his life or hoping he died. It's absolutely despicable. It's disgusting.
Disgusting.
And people that are like that are just losers. And this is the thing. You can say, Bill, that he's not. And he's not right now, but I'm guessing he will be an NBA player, no doubt, as long as he loses like 25 pounds. Brady Mullen, Greenfield Central, number 25. Let's get him. I don't know who that is, but let's go get him because Robert wants him. We haven't signed anybody yet, so what the hell? Brian, I can tell you this, Brian Wetters, there are all kind of rumors. I actually have two that I think that are true, but I'm not going to say them because I don't know. And I'm not going to give up my source. And if I'm not giving up my source, I'm not going to give you my rumor.
Let's put it this way. If he ends up in Kansas, we don't know where he's going yet. If he ends up in Kansas, if he ends up in Kansas, there was a lot of money shoved under the table at the last minute. If he
ends up anywhere, it could be.
If he ends up at Maryland, then we know he really wanted to play with
Derek Queen.
With Queen. Yeah.
Balin Gardner, there's delusional fans everywhere. There are, but there's a difference between delusional and threatening a kid. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, I can't tell you how many I read that would say, I hope you have a terrible career and you never get to the NBA or stuff like that. I mean, why would you do that?
Well, I hope he never gets to the NBA because he screwed us, but I don't want him to get hurt. All right, Braylon Gardner says, Brownstown has a stud on their team that's committed to Purdue. Yes, and he's a stud. Brownstown is going to be really hard to beat. Never offered by IU and would have committed in a heartbeat. I've heard that also. And he is a stud. And he will give us hell for 4 years, and we should have went and got him. There's not many IU or Indiana high school basketball players I see and think we're screwing up royally but not getting. But that kid is one of them. I mean, he is a stud. And I can tell you this, Brian, I think next week the semi-state in Indiana is actually shown. You get it live on IHSA TV because I don't think they start charging until the state championship. Find a Brownstown game, or I'll tell you when it is, and watch the kid. and he's a kid that we should have went after. He can play. I can't remember the name either because I watched a lot of high school basketball. I just don't want the state championship game because I ain't
the
paying.
guy supposedly knows his family and he doesn't even know his name. Come on.
Huh?
Whatever.
The guy knows his family but doesn't know his name.
Yeah, he's like the
He said
kid
Brady
from
Mullen.
Brownstown.
Oh no, the kid from Brownstown?
Yeah.
Yeah,
guy
come
says
on, Balin. What's his name? I bet if I think about it hard, I can figure it out.
Well, if he knows his family, why doesn't he know his name? You know, there's just a lot of people that have a lot of opinions, and I'm sorry, I don't buy it anymore.
Well, I can tell you the Brownstown kid is good. And as I think about it, I will remember it. But what the hell was his name? Because I watched him beat Sullivan by like 30 yesterday. And it's really hard to say that the kid can't play because he can play.
All right. Well,
what the hell was his name? I'll even show you video if I can remember his damn name. I'm sure Balin knows it since he's friends with the family. Tell us, Balin.
He's looking it up.
How do you look it up for high school?
I don't know.
What the hell? But all right, yeah, there you go. Jack Benter. And I don't think he looked it up because that was a pretty quick response. So what we could do is go over here and pull up Jack Benter highlights. Because yesterday was the first time I saw the kid. Him and the Scottsburg kid really stood out to me. See if we got anything. Yeah, here we go. We'll see if he's any good. I'm having YouTube issues right now, though.
All right. Well,
it's loading really slow. I wanted you to see him because he is good. Hold on here. Audio on that. If we could show him to you.
All right.
All right. Can you see it?
Nope.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't. What am I looking at?
Oh wait, I gotta enable it. All right. There you go. That's Forest Park. That's not him. That's him because he's a Brave. He's a very brave kid. He plays for the Braves. Let's see. I got to take this off here so we can see him. But yeah, the kid actually looked a little bit like that one guy who's I'm never going to say his name anymore. Not Dan Kornhauser either. I don't know why the hell that's up there, but this kid can shoot the ball. Unfortunately, he's going to Purdue. But yeah, I have this kid can play because I watched the entire game. He's a good defender also. But I think this is the kind of kid that everybody wants. I'm not one. Hell, if we could go to Japan and get one of those dudes Nebraska got, I'm good with that. It doesn't have to be from Indiana.
Yeah.
But this kid can shoot the ball, and he can pass it, and he can play defense. He's athletical. How about that?
Athletical?
And he took a charge, and my best part is he ended up on the ground. That thing says I'm Dan Kornhauser. My God. Robert Stewart says, Danville, Indiana, the Warriors, 3 regionals in a row. Congratulations to Danville. All right, that's enough of that.
Enough of this shit.
I don't know. Oh, so you think the kid's shit. Okay.
No, I said enough of this shit.
What? You don't like him?
No, I'm more worried about the fucking Big Ten tournament. I don't care about a high school kid that went to Purdue. And you're gone.
He could decommit and come to Indiana.
Well, then you could trade places with Liam.
What?
Why are you not on an IM?
That they put the guy who's probably the least best looking on here. We're just going to sit here and look at Dan for the next 5 minutes. No, I'm kidding. Guys, we will be back Tuesday. I don't know why I'm not on here. It says Dan Kornhauser, and there's no picture or anything. But we will be back on Tuesday night at 7:30 to do a Big Ten tournament preview. We'll preview every game in the Big Ten tournament. We'll both give you a predicted winner, and we'll see how big of a homer Brian will be on that. I'm smiling. You just can't see me. That makes this even creepier, doesn't it, Brian? You have no
Yeah, it is.
idea
It
what
is a
I'm
little
doing
weird.
right now. I know.
It's a
I'm
little
actually
weird.
sitting here with Joseph Michael. He drove up from BV and he's sitting on my lap and I'm bouncing him up and down.
Okay.
But all right,
You know, if
guys.
I didn't know any better, I would swear you're drinking, but I know better.
I'm not. So I don't have to. That's why I don't drink. Could you imagine me intoxicated or high? It would be horrible. All right,
Yeah,
guys. Tuesday night, 7:30. I'll be back then. I will also try to do a Big Ten show tomorrow. If not tomorrow, maybe Tuesday morning. I'm going to do a show just mocking Brian. But make sure you check that out. You can follow Brian Mohr on X at BK Mohr, correct? You could also
or
follow him at got
at
dash
Woodson.
Woodson. I'm going to
There
get
you
to
go.
them all, man. I'm a professional. All right. And
Okay.
then make sure you check, if you like NASCAR, which nobody does, check out Stuck in the Catch Fence. You can research that on YouTube. Ryan Peters, Joe Spillman do that show. Highly recommend it. It's not even on the network. That's how it's good that I recommend it. You can follow me at Grueling Truth. But guys, for now, we're going for 5 in a row at the start of the Big Ten tournament. We will see you guys Tuesday night. But for Brian Mohr, Pastor, you've been watching and listening to the Grueling Truth, where the legends speak. I think we're still on, so don't say anything. I'm having issues with my computer. Hopefully that's
Oh, you're having issues tonight, that's for sure.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Hold on. I haven't ended the stream yet, so don't say anything bad. And there's still people watching. So we're just going to talk to you all until my computer stops freezing and we can get off of here. But
it still says live, so there it is.
I know. You got anything else to add, Brian?
Mike's a homer.
I'm a homer.
You're a
I am
homer.
the farthest thing from a homer. I am in my own private life, but when it's not, I'm not. Damn, man, this is annoying.
We're stuck on.
I know. We still got like 7,300 people on.
Oh my god.
I'll tell a
Help
joke.
me. Numbers are fucking huge. What?
Yeah,
Dan
the
Kornhauser. Numbers are fucking huge. What numbers?
I'll tell you, he's talking about the show probably. Because according to what you watch it on, you can see complete numbers. Some parts you can only see one here or there.
Well, then why can't I see them? Because I don't see it.
Because Dan has access to actually run a show because he knows how to use it. Not saying you don't. But, okay. Damn, this still won't let me end this show.
Oh my god.
All right, guys, just so you know, the show is over. We are going to push stop as soon as it gets to that point. But everybody have a great night, and we will see you Tuesday night. I'll talk to you later, Brian.
See ya.
See ya.
I'm leaving.
Dipper. Stay back.